myself first. Hello, everybody. This is Just Be Blessed. My name is Alex Castillejos, and we're going live. We're going live on Facebook and YouTube. And you know that when we go, we're going to be talking about hot topics here in Just Be Blessed. I go live. It's not like a cut it, fix it, very nice. We need to share the information and to share with you guys good news. I know we're going to be talking about something very strange, normal. Bradley's here and Just Be Blessed once again because I invite him because this is a really strange stuff. Let's invite him so we can be here talking and let's see. How you doing, brother? Thanks so much for being here and Just Be Blessed once again.
Thank you very much. This is a blessing. I appreciate you having me. There's a lot going on right now, and I don't think if you haven't even seen the news, you probably don't realize it. But I think we've all kind of seen the news, and it's kind of amazing what's happening right now, for sure.
Yeah. Because let me tell you, I think it was last week, this Monday or Friday. I don't remember. I remember you shared a link with me, and you said, "Hey, check this out. We're living in prophecy time," and I'm like, "Man, you have to watch this." And I was like, okay, it came from Brad. I mean, he's saying all this stuff. It has to be really good. So I watched it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it because now the United States government, okay, it's not some guy down in the garage making videos, something like that. I mean, the government, the Pentagon said, you know what? We have, it's real. UFOs or aliens or people from another world, something like that. This is real. And guess what? We have some ships. All right. And we had it for a long time. So that means, I'm just saying legally, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, I mean, of course, I mean, you can come out with, okay, the government lying to us. No, legally said, now we have it. And we had it for a long time. So that means they've been lying to us for a long time.
Right.
And what do you think?
Yeah, for national security, they purposely try to lie to us to try to maintain the narrative that goes out to other countries that could want to make war with us or take stuff from us. And I think that's incredible that this is coming out right now. But you know, there's also something fascinating about this too, because they don't really know what they're seeing. They just think that they're seeing something from another place. And ahead of myself because what they have also said is we don't even know if this is from outer space. They think that this is from perhaps in here. That's what they said. And but let me just bring it right back to the Bible. 1 Timothy 4:1 says, "Now the Holy Spirit tells us clearly that in the last days some will turn away from the faith. They will follow deceptive spirits and teachings that come from demons." So there's something that's gonna come together here in a moment. But what we see is a giant deception, because this is what is the very beginning of it. And if I can continue to talk a little bit further about this, we're starting to see physical deceptions because of this. Physical. The government is saying that they have physical craft. They haven't shown us anything yet, but they're finally coming out and saying, not only have we seen UAPs, but we also have been working on several of them. And I don't have a problem with the physical deception, Alex, because you know, in Exodus, when the magicians of Pharaoh were working together, two of them, the first two especially, were reproduced by them. And so I'm really interested to see how this narrative is pushed out and how God's people react to it. And that's why we're doing these videos. This is the most important part, to show and so that we're not deceived by what's coming.
Yeah. And let me tell you guys, just take a little bit of time. That word deception, I mean, it's to me, I don't know, it's a big one. Okay? Because I don't want to be deceived. I'm sure you don't want to be deceived. And I'm sure through life, we've been deceived sometimes. Relationships or, you know, situation in life, right? But we talk about this, and the Bible said, the enemy of the souls is going to be deceiving the whole world. So that is scary. You know, it's a little strange, normal, like your channel, you know, like the topics you share. But this is very, because the Hollywood, I mean, we got to be talking about Hollywood, how they're making these movies and how they've been making all this stuff so that the whole world is just bombarding in their minds, thinking something's coming. But I don't want to go too much ahead. You have your first video to share.
Yeah, no, I have this is the beginning of a major revelation from a company called a news conglomerate called News Nation. And News Nation put out this fascinating video by this guy he checks out. They said he checks out, and this is the weird thing about it. He was a former Pentagon official that just decided he was going to separate from the Pentagon and come out and talk about this. And he said, I've been mulling over this for about 4 years, but I finally decided to retire and come out because I want to blow the whistle on this. And I want to be the one that talks about this and tells the community that this is a big deal. But this is the weird part, Alex. He's going to say that, and he has said that all of this has been approved by the Pentagon. In other words, he's not really whistleblowing if he goes and gets the approval to talk about this. Now the government has said that they're not condoning or saying that they agree with everything he says, but they definitely are controlling his narrative, because he's also said, I can't talk about some of this stuff.
Ooh.
They won't let me talk about certain things, particularly Roswell, because Roswell might be tied into this deception. So without further ado, I want to show you this, unless you have something else to say about it.
No. Go ahead. Let's talk.
Okay.
You are alleging that the US government has been concealing the existence on this planet of alien life.
I would couch it as non-human intelligence, NHI, like we would like to say in our language.
Why do you say that? Why do you say NHI?
I don't want to necessarily denote origin. I don't think we have all the data to say, oh, they're coming from a certain location. And I couch it as somebody who studied physics, where maybe they're coming from a different physical dimension as described in quantum mechanics. We know there's extra dimensions due to high energy particle collisions, etc. And there's a theoretical framework to explain that. Yeah.
Just let me cut to the quick though. You're saying there is an intelligent species engaging with this planet?
Yes, that's potentially extraterrestrial. Yeah.
I speak for everybody sitting at home. That is a shock.
It was to me, and I had a lot of sleepless nights. I started out as a
This is fascinating to me, because they said that all this stuff is happening right now, and they're not sure exactly what this is, but something's happening. They want to know, is this here, or is it from somewhere else? And it's definitely, what they're calling it is not aliens. They're not calling it ET, or extraterrestrials. They're calling it non-human intelligence. Non-human intelligence. That means that what they're seeing, they can't classify as human because of the observables that they're seeing. Now, this goes lots deeper than this. I mean, this is stuff that you would think was a absolute conspiracy back in the day, but they're taking this to the, not only just the next level, but the next level by talking about physical craft now. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dwell on this part first.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I remember, the movies in the 30s, 50s, 60s. I don't know. Remember this ship is coming, and some crazy guy, and gonna be super intelligence, of course, and want to destroy the world, or wants to get the girl, things like that. But now it's like, I don't know. I mean, now the government say, yes, we have it. It's weird. It's a good thing. I don't know. I mean, interesting. I don't know. It's too many questions, and sometimes like, should I ask it? I mean, it sounds very stupid, but I don't know. I mean, I know you have more stuff to share. But we're living in prophecy time. That's what I believe as a Christian. This is gonna be a lot of weird stuff we're gonna be seeing in the sky.
Yeah, and absolutely. In fact, I there was I have so much proof that says they've been trying to come out about this stuff. But one of the most amazing clips that I have ever seen about this stuff is where a former occultist comes out and he says, I'm a Christian now. Let me tell you about our plans that we were planning to have. This just floored me. So can I show you that real quick?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, check this out.
It's your show.
And the priest told us, could I have a little bit more of your time? I want to tell you something very fascinating. He says, the grain plain, the master's grain plain, for harvesting the nations, for harvesting the multitudes of the earth into his cause, just before the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. So we continued, after we expressed ourselves that we're deeply interested to know more about the activities of the spirits. And he said, it's going to be done in a unique manner. This grain plain is going to take people are going to eat the stuff. Because it says spirits, demon spirits, will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet, unless something seriously proper is done to avoid it.
Seriously proper is done to avoid it. So this his name is Roger Morneau. You should see his entire life story. It's riveting. It's 3.5 hours, but you won't even realize how fast it goes by on YouTube. But what he did, he lived in Montreal, Canada, and he worshipped these beings that would manifest themselves. And he didn't start it. He was invited to join this church, Luciferian church. They called him Lucifer. They knew the whole truth about this whole thing. And they said they're just like politics. We just worship one side, the other people worship the other side. And they were given gifts of money, of doing well in their jobs, all kinds of stuff. But he said, I got out of that. A coworker came to me and helped me out. So we have this. We know something's coming down the line, because not only is Roger Morneau, a former occultist, saying this, but also we have the Bible. The Bible says great deceptions will come in the last days. Matthew 24. And so it's clear that when Jesus was talking about deceptions and the disciples were saying, hey, tell us what it's going to be like at the end. The first thing he says is, don't be deceived. So he knows that there's going to be deception coming. Yeah. And what did the snake at the Garden of Eden do? He wanted to deceive Eve into eating the fruit, to come be evil with her. And so I think it's fascinating that this is happening right now. This is coming down the lines, and there's plenty of clear text from Bible, from commentary to show that this was prophesied a long time ago.
Yeah. Another proof, ex-Satanist, worship the devil and all stuff, and he shared with the audience, hey, I remember the great guy or the big master or whatever you call it. He says, you know what? Before the end times, entre good and evil, Satan's going to be appearing, it's going to be like demons, the spirit of demons, and it's going to be appearing and telling people that it's coming from another planet, and people that are going to eat this truth, this false stuff. And wow, you says it's like 3.5 hours. I think I saw just like an hour or something. Man, I need to be watching the 2.5 hours more. Wow, interesting. What's going?
Go ahead. Yeah, it's we don't have. It's not just this that we have from this guy. We got people that have been looking into this, even non-Christians alike. People from the Pentagon, people that have been researching it their entire life. They have been saying that this is a big deal, and it ties to demonic activity. So I'm gonna take a couple. I have just a list of clips here, because this is my wheelhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Digging into this stuff, and so let me just play you. Have you ever heard of these three guys? I can play a clip from Jacques Vallée. I can play a clip from Tom DeLonge, which is a guy, apparently he was a former musician that is now deeply involved in this stuff. Or I can play a clip from Pentagon official, former Pentagon official, that says these things are demonic. All three of them.
But it's heavy stuff. It's a heavy people. It's not, like I say, it's not crazy guy, like somebody in the street, like known, people known, and they have a status. And like for that guy that you shared the first clip, just to come over here and put his face in the camera and tell the whole world, it's not just United States, but it's like yeah, the U.S. government, I mean, that he's gonna be in jail or he's gonna be. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess he was approved to say that kind of stuff. I mean, that's scary.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. And so let me show you, if you follow this stuff and you've seen Tom DeLonge talk about this stuff. I think it's interesting to see what Tom DeLonge himself says about this, because Tom has been, although he's been a musician for a long time, he's been the guy pushing this along as a well-known figure, going to the Pentagon and trying to get these officials together. And he himself has said, this thing's demonic. Listen to this. This is fascinating. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
And the priest told us, could I have a little bit more?
Wrong clip. I apologize. Here we go.
But I don't think these are coming from space. I don't think they're coming from deep space. So if we're looking at the oceans, but we're wondering where we're going to find a planet, you're not going to find one there. So I think it's better that we're monitoring, the area around our planet and what things are materializing in this realm.
All right, hold right there. And then he goes in and talks about the occult and how it's connected with the occult. Watch this. Play. I don't know why it's not playing. That's weird. Well, these are all the former paintings that they have been from past that look like angels. And I think it's fascinating that we have also, they're looking like angels. I mean, look, everyone portrays an angel. The Bible portrays an angel as a bright being. And so that's why I have this clip in there. And that's what they're seeing in the skies, these bright beings. And while I find that clip, because I think it's weird that I can't find that clip right now. I thought it was right here, but I must have renamed it. There is also a man named Jacques Vallée who he comes at this from a purely scientific mindset. He's not a Christian, and he's still alive, but he's written several books on this. He's a scientist, and he says these things are absolutely demonic. Check this out.
Dr. Jacques Vallée has addressed the United Nations on UFOs and was the model for Ecamm in Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He is the author of 8 books on UFOs and has been widely recognized as the premier investigating scientist in the realm of UFO research. In his book, Messengers of Deception, Vallée says, an impressive parallel can be made between UFO occupants and the popular conception of demons. And in his book, Confrontations, he writes, the medical examinations to which abductees are said to be subjected, often accompanied by sadistic sexual manipulation, is reminiscent of the medieval tales of encounters with demons. He also made this statement, I believe that when we speak of UFO sightings as instances of space visitations, we are looking at the phenomenon on the wrong level. We are not dealing with successive waves of visitations from space. We are dealing with a control system. And he states, UFOs are the means through which man's concepts are being rearranged. They are engaging in a worldwide enterprise of subliminal seduction.
Subliminal seduction. So what he's actually saying here is that they're changing the way people think. They're introducing new ideas subliminally inside their minds. And so it's fascinating to see someone who is not even Christian come out and say, this, according to what I've read, this is the most familiar text is demonic activity. You gotta put some weight on that somewhere and say,
Yeah, for sure. Somebody make a comment here, and it says, I don't know if it's ahead what you're going to be sharing later, but it said the government has been planning this last deception and probably have created fake aliens.
So that's a lot. That's a theory that people have pushed out there quite a bit, that it might be a fake alien invasion. But I think what we're going to find out is that this is much, much, much more spiritual than we realize. This is a demonic deception that might have some government officials already privy to what's going on, just like Roger Monroe's case. But The majority are trying to figure this out right now, and that's what has caused disclosure. If you're in the UFO community, everyone wants disclosure about this. Imagine being at your job and some anomaly happening, be it just a fluke in the computer or something, and your boss says, "Hey, go figure this out," and you cannot figure it out. Well, you don't come back and say, I don't have it figured out. You say, give me more time. I'm going to figure it out. Give me more time. We need more money to figure this out. Hey, we need more time. And it never gets resolved. And so you kind of just bury the project amongst everything else you're doing because you don't want to look bad. That's what disclosure or that's what the cover up has been. It's not been because someone's, trying to hide something from us. They literally don't know what's going on. And so this whole thing behind here, the majority, there are a few that do. And that's the catch. But it's really interesting to hear people come out and say, I've been in the Pentagon. I've researched this stuff. This is really strange. And it's going to get weirder. But I'll let you talk a little bit before I tell more stories.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I mean, like I say, you watch movies, something like, in the movies. I'm not saying here, or maybe I don't know. I mean, I know demons. I mean, sometimes we can be possessed. I have this presentation about possession, right? We can be possessed by the Holy Spirit, and we can do mighty things, right? Amen. But we have be possessed for the spirit of the devil and be doing a lot of bad things, okay? And I don't want to sound kind of weird, but it's like demons go into inside in people's bodies and act like that. Yeah. I mean, it sounds kind of like, oh, come on, you're watching too much Hollywood. I don't know. I mean, baby, I believe that we can be possessed by the Holy Spirit. So it's only two, good and evil. I mean, that's it, right? And we know that the Lucifer used a medium, a serpent, to start talking and start doing all this stuff, and he can come out with something and appear. The Bible says it will be appearing like the angel of light, but it's Satan. Even Jesus said, hey, if you hear Christ is over here, oh, Christ is over there, do not go. Do not hear their words. Because let me tell you, it's going to be very...
yeah, it's if you see Christ over here, Christ is over there, and do not go. Christ isn't going to be down on earth. He's going to come in the clouds and he's going to take his people away. And so we get this idea, and unfortunately, a lot of Christendom, they get this idea that Christ is coming to reign on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the Bible. That's heresy. And
the Bible says that Jesus is not going to be touching the ground. He's going to be in the clouds of heaven. He's not going to be touching the ground, walking, everything. I mean, can you imagine? This is my own... I don't know if I'm going far or what I'm going to be saying or what we're going to be talking about. But to me, it's like, can you imagine, Brad, seriously, you've been studying more about these aliens and all this stuff and appearing and everything. Can you just imagine that a big ship showing up, and this being, not like a E.T. or kind of green guy or something, about no, some guy like a good figure, like a superhero guy, and he come down and he's talking like amazing. Mm-hmm. People are gonna go crazy.
Yeah, he's gonna say, I came in the clouds of the heavens. I mean, I don't know if this is how it's gonna play out, but
I know, but
that this is saying, hey, isn't it interesting that he's using an idea of something that comes in the clouds and it can take people away and all this other stuff. People have also theorized that a fake rapture will occur that will take people away that are supposedly good. And they then big troubles come upon the earth because of that. Again, this is something we're researching heavily into to try to figure out
Yeah.
if this is going to be a part of the big deception, because we know that the final rapture, the real rapture, or the taking of God's people away, is going to be at the time of the second coming. And so that's clear in the Bible. You just got to read Revelation.
I know,
So-
right? I mean, we need to be in the Word, because if not, I mean, we can hear. I think that's what you read in the beginning, 1 Timothy. False doctrines. Back and forth, and New Age, and all the stuff. And tell me, do you have another clip you want to share? Because I have a question for you, or maybe a video, because I remember you share later on about some Christian church is involved in this. I think you have a clip about that. I don't know when you're gonna share it, but I want you to share here in this, share with us here and Just Be Blessed.
There's many things that are involved. I don't remember that specific clip, but I do have a clip for you, and I want to show a couple of clips. This one is talking about the physical deception that's already here and already coming.
Sounds good.
Check
So let's start from the very beginning. You say it's a 90-year cover-up.
Just about, yeah.
90 years.
1933 was the first recovery in Europe, in Magenta, Italy. They recovered a partially intact vehicle.
It's long been known that the regime of dictator Benito Mussolini documented numerous UAP during this time. This internal memo from the Italian secret services includes crude drawings of the UAPs. It's true, it's real.
Yeah, that actually happened. The Italian government moved it to a secure air base in Italy for the rest of kind of the fascist regime until 1944, 1945. And, the Pope Pius XII back-channeled that.
So the Vatican was involved?
Yeah, and told the Americans what the Italians had, and we ended up scooping it.
So let me be very clear about this. You're saying that the Catholic Church, the Vatican, they know about the existence of non-human intelligence on this planet?
Certainly.
That's why the Vatican is on TV saying that we're going to baptize aliens next time that we see them, and that they've known about this forever. And this is a Pentagon official. This isn't some kook in the backyard. And that's what's just my mind right now, because either you got a huge disinformation campaign going on right now that's just making lying to your government, lying to the people of your country, which is very bad, or you have literally the government saying, hey, we've lied all our life about this, at least since 1933 about this, and we want to tell you the truth now, which is really bad, but thanks for telling us the truth behind it. Or we have a huge deception that's coming out right now, and it's something that the churches should be very concerned about, which is extremely bad. So either way, any interpretation of this is very bad. And there's one more interpretation that I'll go into that people say, well, it could be they could be here watching us. We could be like a zoo, or we shouldn't fear them because they're benevolent. They could have destroyed us a long time ago. If they destroyed us a long time ago, they could have destroyed us a long time ago, and that proves that they're nice and they're loving and they want us to contact them. That's a bunch of baloney, because if they are a very, very advanced society, they're going to have a court system involved. They're going to have they're going to decide with a galactic federation of some kind. Hey, we need to talk to these people, but let's put an order to it first. And I think we're and so that tells me that there could be some very bad things happening. This is just from a completely scientific atheist mindset. And so for all my atheist friends out there, don't buy into this idea that they're benevolent just because they haven't destroyed us yet. Because if they are absolutely not destroyed us yet, it's probably because they have a court system involved that is keeping this from happening. And that's what Christians believe. If you can believe that, you can be a Christian, because Christians say there's a big problem. There's a big controversy between big entities out there, specifically God and Satan, who's not as powerful. He's just an angel created being. And but these are much more powerful than us on earth here. And the thing is that these things have absolutely been held in check by God himself, by a court system up there that keeps everything in check, so that we can make decisions here on earth that decide our destiny. So it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see what's happening right now. And I have more clips. We're going to talk about agreements that the government has had with the NHI, the non-human intelligence. That's what they talk about. This is your government talking about this. Anyway.
No, it's, to me, is very, very interesting. Before that, I just want to tell you guys, there are only people that are subscribing. I mean, in this channel, 63% people that are not subscribing, they're watching this video and they haven't subscribed. Okay, and people that subscribe is only 33%. So I just want to encourage you guys, subscribe to YouTube channel here and just be blessed, because you're gonna be enjoying this kind of topic. I mean, seriously, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks so much for your love. Let's go back to this video, this live show.
Absolutely.
Okay, so share with us another clip.
All right, check this out. This is amazing that the newscaster would even ask this question. This is what really floors me. Watch this.
Have we made agreements with non-human intelligences?
That's the kind of information I really hope national leadership is able to get to the bottom of.
I need to pin you down on this. Are there agreements between non-human intelligences and the American government?
I think that's a question that I would like to know all the details of as well.
We do know of at least one agreement among humans that's worth noting. This 1971 agreement between the US and the USSR on measures to reduce the risk of nuclear war. Whether or not you believe Dave Grush, this document proves the two superpowers were aware that UAP existed, whatever they were.
If you look at Article 3 of that treaty, it talks about unidentified objects near nuclear facilities or interfering with communications. And that is a treaty that has been used, from what I understand, to notify each other if there's a concerning event.
And that's a way of saying to the Russians, hey, don't shoot at us. It's not us.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a concern because of the secrecy. There is an environment where you could have almost like a false flag, where true non-prosaic UAP situation could be contrived as, a provocation of something from a nation state, and we want to de-escalate that.
So along with that, I'm going to play another clip that shows that people are not only is the government saying, hey, I don't really know what we should say about this making agreements thing, but there are people, regular people right now, that are calling out and asking for these things to lead their lives, and even saying, I wish there was something that came down and just told us truth. We have someone that has told us truth already. And so this is Joe Rogan. This is a clip from Joe Rogan. He's a popular podcaster, and he's saying, we need the aliens. Watch this.
Wow, interesting.
We need the aliens.
We need the aliens.
We need them to come down. They have to come down, and they have to just go, listen, you guys are just, you're not going to sort this out. Stop.
We need someone from another planet to come and be like, this is the truth. Stop denying it. Don't talk your way around
What do you think would happen? Like, imagine if Russia moves nukes into Belarus, right? Which is supposedly happening. And then one day there's some sort of a critical exchange, and they go, that's it. That's enough. And they just, a giant ship hovering over the battlefield where everybody's like, holy and you realize that this thing is from another planet. It sends out a bunch of satellite ships, and they come down, and these things get out.
It's not far from reality.
Would you do it that way?
I'm going to pause it right there. It's not far from the reality, he says. Why in the world are they talking about this right now? I think that the whole world has gone mad, and they're just, like Morneau says, they're eating this stuff. And what I find fascinating about this is that in Revelation 16, it says that 3 frogs, it talks about the 3 frogs that will go to all nations and deceive them into gathering the people to and people and leaders to push them into a battle against God that's coming in the clouds, the great day of God Almighty. And so what do we see right now? Well, we're seeing the beginning of that, where they're gathering people and saying, hey, there's something big coming. And you know how we know that? This is how we know that, Alex. There has been channeled books. In the 80s, there was a channeled book called the Law of One. The Law of One, it was by a system called the Raw Material. I believe it was either the book was called the Raw Material or it was called the Law of One, or that was the system inside. But they said that there's a being. This is bizarre. There's a being that's based in the Orion Belt that wants to enslave humanity and has used the 10 Commandments to do it. Now, this is going to get technical, but I want people to listen to this. This is super important. Watch this.
Question: can you tell me the origin of the 10 Commandments? Ross says the origin of these commandments follow the law of negative entities impressing information upon positively oriented mind-body-spirit complexes. The information attempted to copy or ape positivity while retaining negative characteristics. Question: was this done by the Orion group? Ross says, I am Ra, this is correct. Question: what was their purpose in doing this? Ross says the purpose of the Orion group, as mentioned before, is conquest and enslavement. This is done by finding and establishing an elite and causing others to serve the elite through various devices such as the laws you mentioned and others given by this entity.
So this again is a audio book channeled in the 80s by this group that thought they were talking to aliens that called themselves Ra, like the sun god Ra. And
Egypt.
What we see happening here is the return of these pagan deities, and they call themselves Ra. They call themselves all kinds of stuff, but they say we are the gods of old that you served. And by the way, there's coming in the clouds someday something very bad, and so we're here to help you. Can you imagine if that happened? I mean, it's so bizarre that but the Bible talks about great deceptions that are going to happen in the last days, and they're not going to just be, hey, the church down the road decided they all wanted to come kill you. It's going to be much bigger than that. So
it's, I mean, the Bible also said that, you know, the whole world is a maze for the system of the beasts, you know. They're like, I don't know. I mean, seriously, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Because before it was like, oh yeah, you crazy, you know, conspiracy theories and, you know, all the stuff. But in the movies, you know, it's kind of interesting what this guy was saying. Like, we want the aliens, you know, we want the aliens. And the thing is that Hollywood's been doing a good job making all those movies. The First Contact, or a bunch of movies like, you know, They're Friends, or let's destroy the things, is somebody's coming in the clouds. I mean, you name it. You made some video about Mario Bros stuff and different things about constantly movies from Hollywood is the let's get together and let's destroy something or somebody is coming from the clouds of heaven.
All these different movies are happening right now. For decades, entertainment media has encouraged and even agitated a curiosity about contact with an advanced alien culture. This media coaches us to desire contact with brilliant and more advanced beings.
We got Tang and Tempur-Pedic mattresses from the moon missions from NASA. So imagine what we could get with alien technology. I can't wait. Flying cars are just the tip of the iceberg.
Think back on all the propaganda just within your lifetime.
We have come to visit you in peace.
We are autonomous robotic organisms from the planet Cybertron.
Yeah, so this is a clip from Starfall, a documentary I made previously. But what happened was I didn't think I had the audio turned on. So I was going to talk over it and show you what I was talking about. But you're right, 100%. That is all these different clips that from all kinds of different alien movies. And I didn't even think Transformers was an alien movie until I started looking into the lore and stuff. It's from another planet. I mean, Superman, Star Wars. They're all. I mean, all these really popular movies are training our minds, yeah, to think along these lines of there's aliens and they're here to help us.
Yeah. I have maybe a couple more questions to ask you. I know we can talk about more stuff, and this is a live show, guys, and that was very neat. I asked Brad just recently, like, hey, can you do it? I was like, yeah, sure, of course, and because I was like, I don't need to be waiting until later or something like that, and this is a hot topic in the news, what's going on, and we don't know how much time we have. And the thing is, the deception, to me, I don't know, deception is not very easy to swallow, because even your partner, your husband or your family member or something like that, you don't want those people to be deceived too, you know what I'm saying? Like, and because it's going to be a day that you're going to be going with the Bible and say, no, but the Bible say that. Oh yeah, what are you talking about? The government say it's okay. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, in 2020, they were saying that whatever you're putting in your body, it's okay. And a lot of commercials, propaganda, and all stuff. And then later on, I mean, what you guys people think about that situation, but now you know what's going on. Like, I don't know. I know everybody had their own opinion about it, but it's very strange. It's very strange. The only thing I know is we are going to go see things in the sky, believing is something. And I believe the enemy is behind that situation. It's not just the government or something like that. It's just the enemy is just pulling all this thing because he knows he has a short time.
Yep, 100%. He's got a short time, and so he's going to try to say, you know what, enough of me trying to convince these people. I'm going to come down there and I'm going to do the deception myself. And we're going to see that. We've been told that's going to be the case. We are just going to be surprised at the method that he's going to use. And I think it's becoming evident right now, and he doesn't care anymore because it's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen in each one of our lifetimes. And so I think that we need to be ready. We need to be reading the word. We need to understand it. Someday might be illegal again to read the Bible. So
that's going to be weird. Okay, before that, I'm going to tell everyone about going to a Strange Normal YouTube channel, because Brad, he has a lot of videos that tell you to be careful. Be careful out there. And let me tell you, we just touch a little bit situation. He has people invite, do interviews, go live, and a bunch of different things. He goes live. And he's going to be making more videos. Let me tell you, look at this. Chris Henson. Wow, the Forerunner. I mean, he's very known in the social media places. And he's going to be in your channel. Wow, I cannot wait to what he have to say about deception and aliens.
Yeah. It's going to be very good. Very, very good. I talked to him, actually, it's a pre-recording. So I talked to him the other day. Most of my lives are live, but that one is going to be pre-recording when I have an interview with someone, because I need to make sure I cut it up and make them look as good as possible. So this one is going to be a really good one, because Chris had a lot of good things to say. He's an evangelist for 15 years, and he's been doing this for quite a while. The reason I got him on the channel is because he made a short about UFOs. And so he was already picking up this stuff. And I was like, hey, I don't even have to come to you and say, hey, we should talk about this.
I know.
Doing it. And so it was exciting to actually talk to him a little bit about it.
I'm glad that, evangelists and people in the church, and also I believe that you go to churches, right? I mean, whatever denomination, they ask you to go to Baptist, I mean, any churches. You have a presentation to share about this thing, right? You have like 1 or 2 presentations you can share with people, right?
Yep. Yeah, I have a few presentations prepared, some from my own testimony, some from what's happening, recent events, history of the events, and so it allows God's people to know exactly what's coming down the line from a historical perspective and a biblical perspective, because we want to make sure that everyone, all believers, know that there's a major event about to happen, and everyone needs to not be deceived by this.
Okay. So please, guys, contact Brad in his YouTube channel. I'm sure you have a website there. You can click there to send a message if you want to invite him to your church and share some topics that he has, as a presentation. It's different just to, make a video or something, but when you go to a church and share, more spiritual stuff, it's totally different, experience. So invite him to come to your church and go to his YouTube channel, subscribe, and I'm sure he has more stuff, but go visit his website also. Okay, to finalize this right now, the one thing is, it blows my mind, and I know I don't want to talk too much about it, but the Pope knew about that.
Yeah.
Okay, the father of the church, of the Catholic Church, and the Vatican, let's put it there, because the Vatican is more like a modern system of, but they knew about this stuff, and wow, I mean, to me, it's just like big wow.
They knew a lot more about it than even people realize, because I think they're privy to that deception that's about to happen, and I don't think they, according to how they read the Bible, they don't even say that the Bible is the de facto evidence behind Christ and Christianity and understanding God. So they have the catechism, they have tradition, and so I think it's dangerous to take what they say about the Bible, about Christianity, about what is coming down the line, and apply it to your life, because they have, number one, they've known about this alien thing for quite a while. It's been all over the news. It's in broadcast media. It's been in the history of events. It's in the lore, and you got to wonder, how did they know about this? Because they have already had a lot of spiritualism in their own religion. So I think we got to, as Christians, be careful what we listen to, because it doesn't necessarily have everything correct, and I think that's the danger.
Wow, interesting. Hey, thank you so much, Brad, for taking your time to be here and Just Be Blessed to share, situations about what's going on. But also in your channel, it's not just talk about aliens. I mean, right now, because it's a hot topic or stuff, you talk about different things. I remember we did a show about, I believe paralysis, right? What was the name?
Yeah, sleep paralysis. It's
Sleep
a
paralysis.
thing. And it can be a medical thing, or it can be also a very induced spiritual thing. So it's an important thing that a lot of people suffer from.
Yeah. We did a show about that if you want to go check it out. And he talks about different stuff, That's what's called strange normal, a lot of things. So please share your final thoughts. If you want to add something about your channel or something, I mean, say, share with us right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of different things going on. We talk a little bit about the lore. We talk about it. We talk about the news that has recently been happening. We've talked about a lot of the interviews with different people that have come out of this stuff and thought that this was an extraterrestrial, and then they became Christian and realized that it's a huge deception. We have all that on this channel and on Strange Normal, and we go over that weekly. And we have a weekly show that is broadcast live, and we also have pre-recordings that happens too. So if you're into that, if you want to know the deceptions that are coming down the line, and you're amazed at what you heard today, you want to check out the channel.
Perfect. Once again, thanks so much, Brad, for being here. Please don't hang up. I'm gonna finish this video, okay? All right. Okay, you guys, this is live. I mean, anything happen when you go live, but let me tell you, I just want to tell you that please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Just Be Blessed. I interview people with their testimonies, and also uplifting messages, just like right now, to help you to grow in your faith. I go live and I have just like, recording videos, stuff like that. But if you really want to be part of the family, to be supporting this channel, become a Patreon, and it's gonna be great to have you to make more videos like this. Thank you so much for your support and help. My name is Alex Castillejo, sitting Just Be Blessed. We'll see you next week with another powerful testimony. Bye-bye.